Hey everybody, it is Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday, that you're having a good week, all that sort of stuff. We're looking at three stories today. We're looking at Bakkt and the potential launch of that whole platform as soon as December, as far as the futures go at least. We're also taking a look at Bitcoin and Tasty Meat and what's happening over in Kenya with a pioneering crypto venture, you could say. But let's begin, as always, on altcoinbuzz.io with this article here by Luke. Circle CEO, global cryptocurrency rules are needed. This is the age-old debate. We've touched on it many times before. Jeremy Allaire, founder and chief executive officer at Circle, mentioned in an interview with Reuters on Monday that major economies should launch coordinated cryptocurrency regulation. So he said the following, quote, "Ultimately, there needs to be normalization at the G20 level of critical crypto-related regulatory matters." So last Friday, the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, stated that jurisdictions worldwide will be required to license or regulate cryptocurrency exchanges, and some firms provided encrypted wallets to help stamp out the use of digital money for money laundering, terrorism, financing, or other crimes. And according to Allaire, these rules set out by the FAFT will be a good step in the right direction. That said, Allaire believes that the rules should be broadened to cover the issuance of digital money by private companies through so-called initial coin offerings, and how exchanges deal with market manipulation and the identification of customers. So Allaire also said, quote, "When it comes to token offerings, how should they be treated? Which token offerings are securities, which are not? The trading venues, are they like spot commodity markets that need to have rules in place around market manipulation?" All good questions. Because let's face it, as Luke points out here, all countries have their own kind of case-by-case rules when it comes to cryptocurrencies. They're more permissive in some instances. They're more draconian in others. It really is a case-by-case basis. Europe is brought up here as an example where the industry is largely unregulated. But I don't know, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because I think if we set one sort of global standard for rules, it becomes a prisoner's dilemma, where you're definitely going to have some countries, some nations that are going to break the rules when it becomes advantageous for them to do so. I don't know if global rules are realistic. I think when it comes to global AML, know your customer practices, that's one thing, but I don't know. I'm skeptical if it goes too much further than that, because everybody's going to secure their own competitive advantage. I mean, look at countries like the US and China and Russia. They're already in competition with each other when it comes to getting the first step, when it comes to getting the head start in this space. So do you think this is realistic? Global cryptocurrency rules? Let us know in the comments below. And we'll link, of course, to the original reporting here on Reuters, global rules on cryptocurrencies needed, according to Circle CEO. This from October 22nd, so Monday, just earlier in the week. Let's take a look at another story here, this by way of Chris. Bakkt Futures to begin trading in December. So ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, which is, again, don't forget, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. So ICE Futures, US new Bakkt Bitcoin daily futures contract could begin trading on Wednesday, December 12th. So that's just about 6 weeks away, a little bit over 6 weeks away. Of course, pending regulatory CFTC approval. Unlike the CBOE futures, this product will be offering physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts. And that's the big benefit of something like this versus one of those, let's say, more fake financial products, because there are some of those out there as well. Physically backed Bitcoin futures. That's a good thing. It is ironic timing too, because it will be almost a year to the day when the CBOE futures started trading. So that was back on December 12th, or 10th rather, of 2017. I don't know why I said 12th. Originally, the exchange was supposed to go live in November, but for unknown reasons, this got pushed back into December. So if you're not familiar with Bakkt, we're going to link to them here. Do be sure to check out information on that. We've discussed it at length. We discuss it every couple of days, really. They're going to hold the physical Bitcoins in the ICE digital asset warehouse rights, Chris. Each contract size will be 1 Bitcoin, and contracts are eligible to trade every exchange business day. And here's the big announcement. Quote, "Each futures contract calls for delivery of 1 Bitcoin held in the Bakkt digital asset warehouse and will trade in US dollar terms. 1 daily contract will be listed for trading each exchange business day." That is the official announcement. So What do you all think about this? Chris asks, will the hype around this platform create enough excitement among both retail and institutional investors to bring about the next bull run like the CBOE futures did in October of 2017? This has not received a lot of reporting, at least from my understanding so far. You know, I try to peruse the different corners of the internet. I haven't seen a lot about this. I think Altcoin Buzz is one of the first ones reporting on it, and would be very curious to know your thoughts. I know a lot of you out there in the Altcoin Buzz army are not fans of futures contracts. I do take your point when it comes to that. It's obviously a trade-off. There are pros and cons, certainly. If you haven't checked out our previous coverage of this is back in December, Backed by Bitcoin, what it all means, article here by Chris. Again, Backed is a big deal, guys. I mean, whether it moves things positively or negatively in the market, Backed is really big, and I think it's going to be a linchpin moment and potentially a turning point for this entire sector. So let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on the issue. Finally today, and in a little bit of lighter news, Bitcoin and tasty meat are two staples on the menu for this Kenyan crypto pioneer. Article here by Zach. In rural Kenya, a local restaurant serves tasty meat for Bitcoin and Dash, truly showing the pioneering spirit of Africa. We've talked about before, guys, how cryptocurrency, you know, beyond the Wen Lambo and the whole moon kind of like subculture that, speaking for myself, I'm in North America, that we tend to engage in here. Beyond that subculture, there really are applications for not only cryptocurrency, but blockchain to make things better, to improve the lives of people in Africa, in Kenya, in other parts of the world. We've talked about Venezuela, for example, other countries. So here's a feel-good example for you. Beatrice Wambugu, a Kenyan restaurant owner, considers herself a cryptocurrency pioneer and introducing crypto payments to her restaurant in the rural town of Nyeri. Nyeri is more than 150 kilometers outside of the capital, Nairobi, serving the Kenyan favorite of Nyama Choma, goat meat barbecue. So she started trading Bitcoin over 2 years ago and gained enough money to buy a local hotel. So congratulations. Then converted it into Betty's Place, the restaurant which she created. The restaurant is situated in the heart of the town, welcoming customers with warm yellow walls and big glass windows. There you have it. So check this out. This is really cool. She says, I've set aside one day where I can teach my customers. Whoever asks about cryptocurrencies, how does it work? What is Bitcoin? I train them. That's according to the BBC. And the godsend here is really mobile phone technology. They're what have allowed Betty's business to take off. And even though her Bitcoin takings have been modest, about $300, it has generated a lot of interest internationally. I mean, we're talking about it here. In my case, I'm on the other side of the world reading you this article about it. So there you go. It certainly has generated some publicity. There is a confluence of rural authenticity and modern applications that is almost unique to Africa. As Zach wraps up here, although cell phones and crypto may be spreading, there is still a long way to go. Nigeria, the largest crypto trader in Africa, only has a trading volume of $4 million daily, a tiny amount in the grand scheme. However, this can only increase as crypto spreads across the continent. Miss Wambagu is a pioneer, and more are needed like her across the world, especially in regions such as this. People like her can generally change the world and their areas for the better, removing the corrupting influence of banks and legislating those previously without legislation. It all comes from the individuals. I could not agree more. Let us know what you think about this. Maybe you're located as a member of the Altcoin Buzz Army somewhere in Kenya. Let us know your reaction to this, whether you think it's a step in the right direction, whether you are going to be adopting practices that emulate Miss Wambagu. That's certainly a good thing, and more stories like this are only going to kick the can down the road. I mean that in a good way. So they are only going to move the ball forward. Let's switch expressions there. So kudos, and cool little piece of reporting here, certainly. We're running a bit long today, so let's save this one for tomorrow, but we have a new report here on HTC Exodus 1. It's a new blockchain smartphone. So this is really something that's been engineered, that's been produced by the big multinationals out there, and it's designed around Bitcoin and altcoins. So we're going to take a more in-depth look at this article here by Luke tomorrow on Hump Day on Wednesday's news. And until then, guys, make sure you're following Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter. Of course, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. If you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up for us. Check out our last video here on the right, as well as our website content for new information. Website is thankfully back up and working fine. So if you choose to invest, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, on this Tuesday, I wish you all the very best of luck. We put out new content every day, so we'll see you all soon again in a new video. Take care.